Hi guys, how are you doing? I am here with my first video, and in this video I'm gonna show you guys some basic Python knowledge. Okay, so first thing first, this is gonna be a series of 3-4 videos in which I'm gonna show you guys the basics of Python. Okay, so what are we gonna cover in these videos? We are gonna cover the basics, what is a script, what is a program, functions, data types, and in the end of this mini series we are gonna build a script that is gonna organize our directory folders. Okay, so before I start with this video, I want to tell you guys why you should learn Python. So Python is a very important skill to have. It doesn't matter what are what are you doing, like if you are some type of, I don't know, organizer in some company, if you often do some inventory. It doesn't matter if you want to start doing web development. This is gonna be useful for you. Doesn't matter what you do, even if you are some doctor, you can do this for organize your things. Me, for example, when I first started learning Python, I did a simple script that what it was doing is organizing my files into image and photos and text and all that. So it's very useful. It have a lot of areas in which you can use it. You can use it for AI, for web, for some desktop applications, for simple scripts. Okay, so covering that, let's start. Okay guys, first I'm gonna show you what you need before starting to code with Python. Okay, so what you need is first environment for coding. In this series I'm gonna be using Visual Studio Code because I think it's the more easy and friendly, and I myself I'm using it. Okay, so what you have to do is you go to your browser, type Visual Studio Code, and the first one download for Windows is gonna be I think it's an Excel. Follow the steps and you're ready. Okay, then after this you need to install Python. Go here and download this version, or if you have another one, just follow the steps. Okay, so after that, install Python, follow the steps of the installer, and go to your Visual Studio Code. Now we are almost ready. What you need now is go here to extensions, go here and type Python. Okay, so you have to install this from Microsoft. Python, this is a Python package that comes with Pylance, Python debugger, okay, and a lot of things. Now after this you have already set up for developing. You have to just close your Visual Studio Code and open it again. Now we are gonna choose the directory in which we are gonna be doing this coding series. So go to File, go to Open Folder, and select your folder of choosing. In this case, I'm gonna be using this for the video. Now, to create a Python file, what we need is go here, click, and type the name of the file, in my case it's gonna be first video .py. Okay, so something important that I want you guys to know is that a file extension is gonna be what is after the dot in the name. So if I go here to rename, after the dot, this is the extension. This can be .py. You can have something like GAs, for example, for JavaScript, or MP4 for a video. Okay, so this is the extension or your file. So just so you know. Now let's have this here. Okay, so before starting with the data types, what is a variable, and all of those things, I want you guys to know what is a program and what is a script. A program is something that normally will have more than one file, that is gonna be like some apps, some for example the calculator, for example, is a program, and a script is a program, but generally it have only one file, and is normally called just in some bash, in some CMD, in something like that. It doesn't have some sort of visual interface. Like for example, if we go here to, I don't know, the browser div, for example, visual, it doesn't gonna have div, because we are gonna be using like a script. Okay, so if I type here CMD, you're gonna be seeing this, and if we have a script called script.py, for example, we are gonna be executing it from here. You should hit enter, it's gonna do whatever is programming to do, but it's not gonna have some visual interface. Like if we type here calculator, this have a visual interface. Okay, so that's the difference. With that being clear, let's move on. So now, what is a variable? A variable is like a box. You have a box, with some value. So in that box you can use it in another part. You can say I want box 1. Okay, so you call box 1, you see what is stored inside your box, and you use that. Okay, so that's it, a variable in generally. Okay, so how we define a variable in Python? We define a variable like this. So we have variable underscore name equals 1. Okay, so that's all we need in Python to define a variable. Okay, before going into more details, the naming convention in Python is to always write in underscore, like here. See, numbers in the star, you cannot do this, and if you have more than one word in your variable, you have to use underscore, like we did here. Okay, we did here. Okay, so variable name equals 1. There is no more to it. So after that, we are gonna see as a useful function that comes with Python. In this video, I'm not gonna talk about function, about like the concept of functions, but so you know that this is a function. Okay, so if we type print parenthesis variable name, okay, and save, we save with Control S and go here. This is to run the Python file. Okay, we go here, we're gonna see in the terminal that here is our value for the variable. Now in Python we have different types of data. We have a string, we have int for numbers without decimals, and we have float for numbers with decimals. Okay, so let's define a variable with each data type. So we are gonna delete this, and we are gonna type variable underscore int equals 1, 2, 3. Next, variable underscore string equals. Now to define a string type, we have to use this double comma. Oh, I don't know how it's called in English, but you are seeing now this one at the start and one at the end, and here we type our string. Okay, so let me just type a string var, and let me create another string variable, and this is gonna use the other way of defining a string with double commas, one at the start, another at the end, and we type a string var number 2. Okay, so something important to remember is that here we see the variable string underscore string have a string var for their value. Okay, but if we type variable string equals double commas var, in the moment of printing that variable, his value is gonna change. Okay, so we save the file, we run it, and as you see now it have the var value. You are gonna ask, this is for what reason? Well, this happens because a program is run line for line. What does this mean? This means that here the program reads that variable underscore string equals a string var, but because we are changing his value below here, now variable string equals var. Okay, so keep that in mind in your programs if you are gonna use Python, because that can cause some serious problem. Now let's create the last variable type. So we are gonna type variable underscore float equals 1.2. Okay, and now we are gonna print each value. So variable string, variable float, print variable int, variable int, and print variable string 2. Okay, so Control S, and we gonna run the file. As you see, here are all the values of our variables. Okay, so this is gonna be all for this video. I hope you have some concepts clear now, and in the next video we are gonna cover what is a function, how to create a function, and what's the benefits of using a function. Okay, and we also gonna cover what we can do with numbers and what we can do with the strings. Okay, but those two we are gonna just cover it a little bit, not much. So we are gonna do some basic arithmetic, some basic concatenation. So I hope this video is useful for some of you. Excuse my English, it's not my first language. That's it. If you have any comment, just leave it. I'm gonna go read all of it. Okay, so love you guys, see you in the next video. Bye bye.